and we'll get started pretty soon. So thank you for joining early. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's give it a couple more minutes and then we'll kick it off. You're all welcome once again. We're about to get started pretty soon. I want to make sure we have everyone we need. So thank you, ladies, for joining. Okay, so. Okay, I see our special guest is already here, which is good. Thank you. I'll introduce her in a minute. We're going to start at exactly 7:05. I've just given 2 more minutes for folks that might be running late and trying to join the session. So again, for folks that kept the time, thank you all so much. I'm very happy that we're changing from the typical African time to real time. So this is good. So thank you all so much to all my sisters that have joined, Sister Tosin, Sister Tutu, Sister Funke. Please be on mute as you're joining. Be sure to be on mute, please. Please check your mics. Thank you so much. Sister Folakemi, I see you. Sister Lara, Sister Ayo, let's see, Sister Fumi, Sister Antonia. Everybody here is my sister, so I'm just going to call everybody sister. So we're all sisters here, all right? Sister Sheyi, I see you. Thank you so much. Who else? Who am I missing? Sister Chinwe, I see you. I don't want to pronounce this wrong. I'm going to try. Sister, I think it's Ansel, something like that. Sister, you can correct me. I'm willing to take correction and do better next time. So thank you so much, my sister. Thank you all so much for joining. Very happy that you were able to make it. We've been looking forward to this amazing program, and I'm so glad that it's here now. So thank you all so much for joining once again. Now, feel free to share your camera if you want to, but if you like to, be on the down low, that's fine too. I was very nervous, about sharing my camera today, especially because we're talking about makeup. So I'm like, I hope she's not going to be, kind of checking my eyebrow out. You shouldn't have done that, all the wrong things here. But I said, you know what? We're all here to learn. That's the reason why we're all here. So yeah, maybe it's not such a bad thing for us to point out a few things that I need to improve on, because as you all know, we all like to look good. I know I do. So yeah, and I'm sure you guys are all ready to look good too. That's why you're here. So it's 7:05.
class.
Uh-oh. Sister Antonia, we can hear you. Was that comment for us? Or that was just mishap?
That's me.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's see who else is joining. I see Sister Tokmai just joined. You're welcome. Sister Ada, I see you. I love that profile picture, sis. It's working for you. Thank you for joining. We see you here. Thank you so much for making it. I think that's pretty much everyone that I have here, apart from my very special guest, which I'm going to be introducing in a minute. As I said, feel free to share your camera. Don't worry about the makeup stuff. Guess what? That's why we are here. But if you do feel better being behind the walls and the screens, that works for us too. All right. Not to waste any more time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. If you don't already know me, my name is Laura Enrile, aka Ellie Sparkles. So I'm going to be your host tonight, just basically introducing our very special guest and kind of chiming in every now and again to make sure that we have a wonderful program tonight. This is by the Bloom Ministry, which is an arm of Jesus House, Jesus Women Ministry to be more specific. And basically this group is for married couples. I know everybody's invited because we didn't invite more people, but mostly Bloom is married couples over 10 years. So you're all welcome here, though, whether married, whether single, we all need to look good anyway. So that's why we are here to learn. So we appreciate you all coming out to support us. Now, we have an HOD in this department, our beautiful sister, Sister Funke, or Sister Olufunke Eru is here tonight. Sister Funke, can you say hello to your people? Oh, is that you with the mask?
I'm still at work. I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't know that was you. Okay, sis. No worries. Thank you so much. Be safe, sis. Wear that mask. Yes, let's put it up. Let's be safe. Thank you so much, sister, for showing your face. We also have an assistant HOD, Sister Folakemi. Can you show your face really quickly and say hi to everyone?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being here. And thank you, host, for doing a great job so far. We're excited and looking forward to a great time tonight. I'm looking glam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sis, Folakemi. That was well said. We have other members here that will be supporting me tonight. My very own sidekick. Let me make sure she's there before I start introducing her. Do I see her name? Where are you, my sidekick? You know who you are. Okay, there she is.
I'm here.
Sister Audu Shobayo, that's my sidekick. She's going to be supporting me tonight with hosting this program. So with well, let's pray, and then let's introduce our guest, and then we can get started. I think that flow might be better. So Sister Audu, since you're my sidekick, you're going to be the one I'm going to pick on. Can you please pray us in as we get started tonight?
Father, in Jesus' name, Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, Jehovah Lord, we just want to say thank you. Thank you because our gathering is unto you. Thank you for a good day. Thank you for a good week. Thank you for bringing us together in one love and in unity. Lord, we declare to this program a success in the name of Jesus. Holy Spirit, we say you will have your way in the name of Jesus. We commit our host and the invited guests into thy hands, oh God. You will speak through them and you give us understanding of everything we are here to learn tonight in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, Lord.
So much. Thank you. Oh, Mom, okay, I'm good. Okay, thank you so much, sister, for that wonderful prayer. All right, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce our special guest tonight. My name is Mrs. Remilekun Oye Awofeso. She's a makeup artist, as you already know. She's a business owner and entrepreneur. She's been doing this for over 13 years now. She's worked in many fashion industries, films, TV, bridal, special effects, makeup, and so on. So we have a very special one. We're very lucky to have her tonight. She's definitely a professional on every level. Guess what? There's a fun fact here. She did makeup for 4 seasons of Skinny Girl in Transit. I don't know if you guys have seen that show. It's on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go see that show. It's really, really good. And she did the makeup for 4 seasons for that particular show. So I'm talking about the big shot here, all right? And also season 2 of Rumor Has It. She also did makeup for that. And a lot of talk shows. She's done makeup for a lot of talk shows, music videos, even Isoken. I don't know if you guys have seen Isoken, the movie on Netflix. She was one of the makeup artists that worked on that. And if you've seen that movie, everybody looks absolutely amazing in that movie. So when I'm talking about introducing a special makeup artist, I'm talking about a real professional in the house. So we're very blessed and we're very happy to have her. So let me go ahead and introduce Mrs. Remilekun Oye, our professor. Thank you so much. Where are you? I know she's here, so we need to see her.
Hello,
Miss Rem-
everybody.
There you are. Okay.
I didn't want to
so-
distract you. It's good to be back here. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Remy, and it's really nice to be back with the bloomers. Is it?
Yes, that's
Mr. Laura,
correct.
is it bloomers?
Yes, we are the
Yes, it's
bloomers.
really nice to be back. Thank you, everyone, for coming back, for having me. Without taking too much of our time, thank you, Sister Falakemi. Thank you. It's so nice to be back. I don't want to waste too much of our time because we are on a really short time frame and we have a lot to learn today because we're going to be learning how to do our makeup and gilly today, not just makeup. So the look I decided to go with today, I remember the last time, HomeBuilders Bloomer, thank you. I remember the last time we did like a neutral look, everyday look type. I'm going to take it up a notch. I'm sorry, anyone who was in the last one. Pardon me. I don't want to be boring and do the same plain look today. So I decided to go with something a little more, not too dramatic, but something a little more interesting. So without wasting our time, before I go on, a summer look, yeah, thank you. A summer look would be nice. Okay, without wasting our time, does someone want to, real quick, for like 30 seconds, just if anyone that was in the last class can remind me what the steps are, how do we progress from start to finish? If you can run through for a minute. Anybody? Sister Falakemi? I remember you from last time. Do you want to help? The steps, real quick. What do we start with first? It's okay if you don't remember. You want me to just go ahead? I just want to see if we have someone who retained something from the last class.
Okay. I'm doing it.
I can start.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, I might miss some steps.
Yes, ma'am.
Primer, so we'll prime our face.
Mhm.
We have like spots.
I will call
We
you
can
later.
use spot correctors just to minimize the spots or wrinkles. And then we will use the foundation. After the foundation, I believe that was when you did the eyebrow. After the eyebrow, then you did I'm sorry, then you
It's okay.
started the eyes, you use the eyeshadow. After the eyeshadow, you use the eye pencil lightly under the eye, and then you clean up with, you try to clean up the excess with, what's it called?
Concealer?
Concealer, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You clean up with the concealer and then.
So far, you've done a very good job. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Who's that? Who's talking, please?
This is Esther Ogusoya.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Esther. Thank you very much. Okay, because I don't want to take too much of our time, I'm just going to go through it again. She got some of the steps very correctly, but she missed some. I told you all at the last class, those who were present, Fontama look, okay, got that. I told you all that at the last class, that is very important. I remember that you moisturize. That's the one step I wish you remembered. Whether you have an oily skin or a dry skin or normal skin, you really, really need to moisturize. Well, great job, Sister Esther. Thank you very much. God bless you. So today I'm going to start, like I said, moisturizing. But before that, I'm going to just spray my face a little bit just to kind of hydrate my face. It's not anything. You can do this or you don't have to if you just came out of shower. I didn't just come out of the shower. So I'm just going to spray my face a little bit. Please let me know if you find the lighting too much. I can adjust it here and there. But this is a regular finishing spray. This is Urban Decay All Nighter, but I'm just using it today to base my face, just to refresh my face a little bit. After that, I'm going to go into moisturizer like we talked about. I'm going to use a serum first, just because I'm going to tell you why you need to use a serum first is because you want to get your moisturizer to have a very good base to sit on. My hands are clean, and I'm just going to use my hand here, even for foundation, especially if you're working on yourself. Your hand is always a great choice to go with. You don't have to use too much. I just used a bit of an hydrating serum. You can use hyaluronic acid if you have some. Just a little bit, nothing too much, and just kind of pat it into your skin. You will see the difference. It makes a whole lot of difference as we go along in the makeup, because you want your makeup to look flawless. You don't want it to look cakey. So after applying the serum, I'm going to just pat it in and then quickly apply some moisturizer. This is Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base that I'm applying right now. I'm going to use just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that much, not too much. I'm not sure if we're able to take questions during the process, but if we want this to move fast, I think we can please take our questions down, write our questions down, and just ask after the class. I hope we have enough time. The moisturizer that I used, the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Face Base, also doubles as a primer. It's a primer and a moisturizer. So when you're pressed for time, it's a really great choice. But if you're not, if you really want to go the extra mile, especially during summer, your makeup tends to fall apart faster during summer than winter. Your makeup olds. And this is all-nighter primer that I'm using today. I'm just going to put a little bit on my T-zones. That's the area that I usually get oily first. I have a oily skin, very oily skin. My pores can become larger as the day goes by. But yeah, I feel like we're in a better place than the last time. So if you're struggling with your skin, if you have an oily skin like me or have large pores like me, one thing that I learned over time is before you have a big date or a summer date, especially maybe date night with the herbs or anything, you can do an ice therapy. You can put your face in ice cold water so that your pores can close up a little bit. And so once your pores close up a little bit, your makeup goes on way better. Another trick that you can use during summer is to use a face mask just before you do your, you know, the drying ones, the mud masks. Yes, that's it. You should apply a little bit of those and let it dry completely and wash off before you start the whole process. It also helps to keep your makeup on for longer for those of us that have oily skin. For those who have dry skin, it's a different thing completely. I would go with moisturizing sheets or face masks. Those you can find at Target, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. They're not very expensive. You can just use those just before you start your makeup so that your makeup doesn't dry out and you don't look cakey. Okay, so I've applied a serum, I have applied a moisturizer, I have applied a primer. Now I'm going to go on into my foundation. Today I'll be using, if you can turn on your camera, it'd be nice, please. Anyone who's home who can turn on their camera, I'd really appreciate it. It would make me feel like I'm talking to people, actual people, and I see a lot of pictures, but it would be nice if I can see someone at least maybe going along with me a little bit. Thank you. So today I'll be going with Kat Von D foundation, just because that's my summer foundation. I chose this because it's full coverage and is a Lock-It tattoo foundation, and it stays on for long period of time. So today I'm using Kat Von D as against, I don't remember what I used the last time, but it might have been different. This is Kat Von D. It's a tattoo foundation, and you need very, very little. I'm just going to pump a little bit on my brushes. My personal foundation brush is a buffing brush. You can just pump just a little bit. You see, that's small. You don't have to go overboard with your foundation, just a little bit. A little goes a long way. If the light is too much, please let me know so I can adjust it. So you see that I'm using literally very little. I'm moving close to the camera so you can see. I'm using very, very little, and it's really covering completely. I want to make a side note or a footnote. Please, when you go to the store to buy your foundation, please try to make sure that you have someone who's of the same, I like to say black, but I don't want to sound racist, someone who's of the same color range with you, choose for you, because they understand our undertones better than when we have Caucasian people help us. Another tip when you're choosing your foundation at the store, I'm pumping another pump. This is the second pump, and that should cover the whole of my face. Another tip that you can use when you're going to the store to get your foundation is also to try it on. When you try it on for you, do not buy it immediately, please. Go outside the store and walk in the natural light and see if it really matches. Otherwise, you can end up with a grayscale foundation. It happens a lot of times to my clients. They have really nice foundations, but then it's a little gray or the undertone is off. So please, let's pay attention to that so we don't have gray. Once your foundation is your exact shade, most of the work is done. Do you see the coverage? I only use 2 pumps of this foundation and I'm all covered up. And that's it. That's what you need to do for foundation. You don't, a buffing brush really helps.
Please,
it makes your work easier and faster.
Mute yourselves, please, so we can hear. Please mute. Thank you.
It covers completely. And if you see me looking at this direction, it's because I have a mirror right in front of me. I'm trying to double check. So I always say something to my one-on-one students. It's that you don't have to cover everything in your foundation process. This is because you can end up overdoing things if you try to cover everything, because you're still going to do other layers, which is the powder, the concealers and everything. We're taking it up a notch a little bit today than the previous time. Today, I'm using 2 concealers. This is Extra Shot by Marc Jacobs. It's a really good concealer. This is my personal one, so I'm going to be using out of the wand. You can just dust a little bit under your eyes or dab a little bit under your eyes. This is quite close to my shade that I'm using. And this is a beauty blender. Someone says, can we use, please just drop the question. I'll answer it later so I don't slow down. And this is pretty close to my, shade. It's like just 1 shade lighter. And I'm just gonna dust, gently dab. If you press too much, the concealer will disappear completely into your sponge. If you don't want that to happen, just a little bit under your eyes, not too much. Do you see that? This instantly gives you an eye lift. You look like you got a lot of sleep. Everyday summer look, and you're good to go. Now, you don't want to press the beauty blender into your skin too much, because if you do, you're going to take the product back inside the sponge and not on your face. So you want to use very soft dabbing process or soft dabbing moves. You want to put a little bit on your forehead. Do you see the difference? Can anyone see the difference from before I started the whole process or before I applied the concealer? Can anyone see the process? Is the light too much? Do you see it? You're mute. I guess someone is talking, but you're mute. I can hear you.
Oh, yes, we can. We can see the difference.
Yeah, we can.
You can see the, great. I just want to know that we can all see the difference. So this is all you need. Normally, if you're just going out for maybe a walk in the park with the kids and you want to look very nice, you don't want to overdo anything. However, I have a trick that I usually do, even if I'm in a rush, to make my eyes even look even a little more awake. This is another shade lighter. And so I put just a little dot inside my eyes and just a little dot right on the outer corner of my eyes. Just a little bit. You don't want to overdo this because the blending can make or break your makeup. Just as I said earlier, you don't want to push the beauty blender into your skin too much. You just want to dab. This will make a lot of difference when you're done, because your face would look like, your eyes actually would look more awake than if you were to use just 1 shade of concealer and that's it. It may look a lot on camera right now, but you see the difference when we're done. Just a little bit, don't forget, don't use more than a dot, literally. And when I'm doing my client's makeup, I may go a little more than that, but that's because blending it will be easier for me than, can you all see? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
When I use the lighter concealer inside, it looks nicer, but we're going to balance it out with something I'm going to show you real quick. Okay, so you don't have to do more than this, and that's just it. The moment you're done blending that in, I will take if you do have a darker foundation, maybe you bought a foundation one time and it was too dark for you at any point, this would be a good time to grab that dark foundation and use the other side of your beauty blender just to frame your face a little bit. You don't want your face to look flat. I say flat because if it's just one shade all through, most of us don't have one color on our face all through. If you have a bigger forehead like mine, you can dab the darker shade just on the outer part of your face. You don't have to draw a pattern on like we're told on YouTube. You just dab a little bit on the outer parts of your face just to bring some dimension in and create a really nice, flawless. Do you see the difference? Do you see? Does it make a difference to you? Or do you think it's the same? Hello, is anybody there?
Yeah, I can see the difference.
Yes, we can see the.
Thank you. If you don't see a difference, please tell me so that I can know that maybe I'm not applying enough.
No, we'll let you know.
Okay, please. Thank you. So I'm using the same part I used for the lighter foundation and concealer, and I'm going over it again real quick. Now, I want to set my under eyes. I prefer to use, you can either use a pressed powder. I have a pressed powder here. This is a Charlotte Tilbury. This is my personal one, but this is a loose powder. This is by YSL. You can use a little bit of this. I usually would mix this if I was working on a client because it can create flashbacks. But for the purpose of this class, I'll just be using directly like that. You don't need a lot. You need a little bit. Just pick up a little bit and set your under eye. It doesn't take so long or so much, just a little bit. You don't have to bake. You can, or just leave the powder under your eyes or anything. You can just set and you're fine. I'll show you how to set your under eye better as we go along in this process. So, does this make a difference from when we started? Do you think? Hello, everybody. Are we there?
Yes, it does.
It does.
Yes,
make a
it
difference?
does.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go on
Definitely.
real quick. So I'm going to use a all over powder for the rest of my face. This one is by Lancome, and this is shade, this is my shade 470 Suede. I'm just going to put this lightly. Everything, again, less is always more. Everything I've used so far, I've used sparingly, just a little bit. You pick up I'm literally just touching you don't need a lot at all. I'm just picking up very little. Even on my clients, I tend to tilt more towards using less product as against using too much. So the layers build up as you go along. If you had some spots that were not covered from the application of the foundation, by the time you put the pressed powder or finishing powder, whatever powder you choose to use, you'll be covering whatever it is you did not cover at that point. The brush I'm using right now is by Cosette, is S125 brush. It's a professional brush. You would not find it at Ulta or Sephora or anyone. You find it directly on the website. I can send the link later if anyone wants to purchase them. So this is where we're at right now. I can't see the rest of the question, but I can look at the chats when I'm done with the makeup. I'm sorry, because I don't want to slow down because I don't want to waste our time. So I've tried to set the whole of my face. I don't know if you can see the difference, but that's where we're at. I'm gonna take a finishing powder. This is by MAC, and it's called Dark Deep. And you remember the perimeters of my face that I put some dark foundation on. I did not use a concealer, I used the foundation. I'm going to set that with this finishing powder because I want that to retain its glow. I don't want it to be matte. I don't want it to be cakey. I just want to make the place dewy a little bit and just set so that it doesn't move around a lot. Okay, so let's go quickly to the brows. Who's excited? A lot of my clients are usually scared of doing their brows, or they have a fear of the brows. Is actually really easy. Like I said the last time, I'm going to run through it real quick again. The way the brow works, first you divide into 3: the start point, the end point, the arc. Are we there? Hello?
We are here.
Can we? Yes. So, like I said the last time, the brows, you first divide into 3 parts. The start point, I said the last time, using your nose as a guide, the side of the tip of your nose, not the tip of your nose, the side of the tip of your nose, like so, is your start point. This is your end point from the tip of your nose now to the end. That's your end point. And where if you look straight into the camera, the end of your pupil is where your arc should be. So the highest point of your brow should be here, not here, not here. If it is here, you're going to look angry. If it is here, you're going to look sad. So either or, don't put your arc in the wrong place. It can make or break your makeup. If you put your arc in the front, you look angry. You have question mark brows, and then people across the room are just going to wonder if you're talking to them, asking them questions. You don't want to do that. So just keep your arc in the right spot and you'll be fine. For the most part, I use a thin pencil like this. You can find there's so many. They're pretty much the same thing. It's just different brandings. I can suggest some later. I'm looking at a mirror here because I don't trust the camera to be accurate. So I start at my start point. I don't know if you can see that. I can lean into the camera a little more. Okay, thank you. I can start at the start point and faintly, you see how lightly I'm going? Don't make any sudden moves. And don't press your hand into your pencil too much. That's another problem I think that people have with your brows. They press the pencil too much into the brows when you're drawing it. And when you do that, you're going to draw a line that is a tad bit too dark. And it's going to make you struggle as you go along. So you see, I'm making air-like strokes as I go on. I'm just trying to. Do we see a difference? Hello? Can we please
Yes.
do we see a difference?
Yes, I can.
How many people can do this? You can? Let's try it. Let's try it. If you have time, if you have a pencil, if you have a mirror, you can try the second one with me. I'm going to do the second one now. I did this. I don't know if anyone was following, but you can try to follow me now on the second brow. So the brows, remember, like I said the last time, your brows are sisters and not twins. They don't have to look exactly the same. So don't spend all that time trying to make them look the same. So I should start from the start point, but because of the angle I'm working with, and this is my own brow, I usually start this other brow from the arc point, not the start point, just because I don't want to make a mistake. I try to map out where my arc point is first before I go ahead and go back to my start point, which is going to be way easier when I come that way. Do you see? That's my baseline. And so I'm going to do what I did on the bottom at the top, which is just trace the arc point down. And like I said, air-like strokes. It's much better when you use air-like strokes. It doesn't look drawn on or tattooed on or over the top. So even if you're in a rush and you cannot really use the concealer to clean up, a lot of times I don't have to conceal my own brows sometimes, except I'm going for that look. If I'm not going for that look, then I'm good at this point. You can just go onto your eyeshadow. If you're just going out, taking the kids to the park and everything, you can get away with this if you do it right. Yeah, brows are sisters and not twins. So if you see that from grooming my own brows, actually, I can even tell that there's a bit of a difference between them, but I don't sweat it because I try not to spend too much time. I feel like we put too much focus on the brows sometimes. It's really not, I'd rather spend more time on doing my eyeshadows if I want to than my brows. Now, I'm taking a flat edit brush this time, not angled. You can use an angled one. I use it sometimes, and I'm going to use a concealer as close to my shade as possible. So this is the same one, Marc Jacobs one that I used earlier. This one is pretty close to my shade. It's a little lighter, but it's pretty close to my shade and it will work. So remember what I said, just as when you were drawing the brow, don't forget, when you're cleaning up your brows, I prefer to start at the arc, which is like this point. Remember what we talked about? And just clean out using gentle touch. Try not to, I'm going to come out and blend that. I just want to do the other one real quick. I'm keeping quiet when I'm drawing my brows because you need steady hands. So when you're doing your brows, try not to move too much so that you don't mess your brows up. So I use as little concealer as I can, and then I blend it down. The camera might not seem as such, but I promise you it's blended. It might look a little in your face, but yeah, if you want a more toned down look, completely toned down, you can use your exact foundation color. You don't even have to use a concealer. Sometimes I'd use my exact foundation color and I'm good. If you want a more toned down look. But if this is a summer look like we're going for, which is a little more, I'm taking my hand now, my ring finger, and I'm just dabbing this all the way a little bit. You might want to check the concealer a little bit. I'm not applying anything on the brush, just whatever I have left. In fact, I cleaned the brush earlier. You don't want to transfer product up top. That will mess your makeup up and it will keep you in front of the mirror all day. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that I clean up any mess I might have made doing the top part of the brows. So, brows are done. Real quick, remember how the last time we had a soft brown eyeshadow? Yes, try as much as possible to be steady. We just did a brown eyeshadow the last time. Today, this is I'm going to use this is Painterly by MAC. It's an eyeshadow base. I'm just because I want the eyeshadow to project a little bit. It's a summer look. It's more fun. It's more. I'm just using my ring finger, and I'm dabbing that on my eyelid. For those of us who have smaller lids, I would advise or suggest that you go with it. You can go with a darker. If you have a hooded lid, I mean, I find smoky eyes naturally nicer on smaller lids than trying to do all this colorful type eyeshadow, and then you open your eyes and nobody can see it. It looks like, oh, why did I waste my time? So I'm just blending the base that I put in out a little bit so that it doesn't look, there are no lines of demarcation. Don't forget, it's very important that you blend out your makeup and there are no lines of demarcation. Okay, using my ring finger. Again, you don't have to have too many tools. You can work with what you have always. I have a lot of tools. I'm just working as though I'm working on a DIY, like somebody that is doing it for themselves, not a professional. So this is an eyeshadow by Marc Jacobs as well. And I really like this shade because it's copper and golden. It's broken, but I really like it. And I'm going to just show you guys. I can't show you the pan, but I can show you because it's broken. It's a coppery toned gold eyeshadow, and I'm just going to dab it. I'm using my finger. I like to apply the eyeshadow with my finger a lot of times, especially if I'm doing my own makeup. Sometimes even on my clients, I would use my finger just to increase the intensity of the eyeshadow. And this copper toned gold eyeshadow is good for everyone, pretty much every shade. It's not over the top. It's not going to be in your face. I promise. The light might make it look a little intense, but it's not that intense. It's very nice and friendly. It goes on very smooth, and yeah, that's why I've chosen this particular one. And because of time, I would usually do, when I'm working on my clients and all that, normally I would do the transition color and do this color and that color. But if you are a mom and you're going out with your kids real quick or not, or you're going on date night with your husband and you're running late, you want to reduce the amount of time you spend on your makeup, and I put this class together with that in mind. I'm using just the regular brush, and I'm picking up a shade from this palette. You can use any palette you like, just a soft brown, just to soften out the edges. I'm going to take this shade today and mix it, and I'm just going to put that where at the end part of the place that I placed the copper toned gold eyeshadow. I'm not going to do too many steps so I don't confuse you or just make it become tedious or necessarily prolonged. So the other time, remember, I just used a brown eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadow, and I spread it all over my face and just put a brown eyeshadow over it. But you can't do that every day. This is also pretty everyday. This is pretty simple eye look that works on most people. What I'm just doing is I'm defining my crease right now in circular motion. I'm just blending that, and I'm making sure that everything is smooth and well blended together. You know, is everybody here? I want to be sure that people are still with me and you understand what I'm saying. Is everybody here?
Yes, we are.
We are.
Thank you. Okay, are we all good? Am I moving too fast? Am I moving too slow?
I think you're doing good.
We're good? Okay. So I'm taking a clean brush. This is a clean brush, and I'm just going to quickly smoothing that part out so that there are no, like I said, lines of demarcation. So that's a clean brush, remember, because I don't want to use, I know there's people who like their makeup very simple. You know, I don't want to do anything too much so that we don't leave some people out and they don't like the makeup that we created today, and because it's too much for their personality. So even though we want to use the copper gold eyeshadow and all that, we still want everybody to be able to relate to it and be able to recreate the look. If you want to take it up a notch, you can take a darker toned eyeshadow and put it in here, just right here, to deepen your crease and create. Do you want me to do that? Do we all agree that I do that, or can I just move on? Is this fine enough?
Please do it.
Okay.
Please do that.
Do it.
Okay, great. Because I just don't want some people who like their makeup very simple to find it too much. So I'm not going to take a black eyeshadow. I'm just going to take a dark brown eyeshadow. If you can see the palette, I'm going to take this shade and maybe mix a little of that. Remember to dust off the excess. And just at the end, the reason is because some of us, like for instance, myself, this part of my eyes is a little puffy. This part is a little puffy. You want to hide the puffiness a little bit and give your eyes some definition, just like I gave my face some definition earlier. Do you see that move? Little things that you do in your makeup process will make a whole lot of difference. So I'm not taking it all the way inside. I can, but I'm not, for the purpose of this look. I'm going to take the same amount, dust off the excess. You know, I did my face already. You don't want the eyeshadow all over your face. At first, I'm using a circular move, just making sure to place it right. Then I'm going to use a wiping motion to just like kind of drag it inside a little bit. So it may not look a lot on camera, but I can see it. It kind of deepens out. And I'm going to show you a little bit of trick that I like to do on myself. I don't like the upper eye having all the products in the lower part of the eyes just looking bland. You can just drag a little bit under your eyes to the side and drag it all out. Yeah, so that's all we're going to do as far as eyeshadow goes. I don't want it to get too complicated. You can check for lines of demarcation. I don't have any. I'm just putting my hands over it just to warm up the whole area and make sure that We're all good. Don't be scared to play with your makeup. Don't be scared to touch your eyes or your face when you're doing your makeup. If you mess it up, you can fix it. Real quick, I'm going to go into the liner. Today, I'm using a gel liner. I know it can be a little scary, but it's really, far as I'm concerned, the best shot. Mostly because it works for a lot of my clients, and I've hardly ever found anyone allergic to this. I myself am allergic to some pencils. I've used pencils in the past that really, really hurt my eyes all day. So I'm very careful with pencils because I don't want my clients to like react to a pencil and not be able to see throughout their events or their parties, and you're wondering what's going on. So this is another tricky part. I'm going to be looking in this mirror right here. That's just because that's where my mirror is. And for those of us who intend to do liner, I'm going to do a little wing just because not everybody's going to like it. And I don't want to leave anyone behind. So I'm not going to do anything dramatic. I can go as dramatic as I want. So I'm going to stop just right there. Or maybe let's fan it out a little bit. Okay. You can form an angle first. And I say the highest point of your liner should be only on the outside. I don't think that the inside part of your liner should be like thick. I think the thinner your liner is in the insides of your eyes, the more it frames your face, except that's the look you're going for. But for everyday women like us who just want to get our makeup looking very nice and not drag-ish or over the top, you want to make your liner when you go inside your eyes as thin as possible. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm trying not to talk because I need my hands to be as steady as possible. Okay, whatever spot I miss at this point, my mascara will fix, but I think I connected it well enough. And I don't want the liner to be too dramatic, just because some people might not like their liner to be dramatic, and I don't want them to be confused as to how to stop their liner. But if you want your liner to be dramatic, by all means, just extend out a little more. Just make sure you follow your original eye shape. Don't go out of it. If you want to go out of it, then you're definitely just going for another look, and that's fine. Please continue to leave your questions in the chat box if you have any. I'm going to need to stay steady again to do my insides. So I always do something called tile lining. If you can, you just put your brush right under your eyes and line inside your eyes. That will make your lash, by the time you attach your lashes or your pair of lashes, it would hide the band of the lash. If you can, tight line. If you can't, it's fine too. It's okay. You can cover it with a mascara. Now I want to do the inside of my eyes as well. The same reason that I'm using the gel liner is because reaction. I react to a lot of pencils. Some people don't. The last time I used the Marc Jacob pencil, I don't react to that one, but I want to use a gel liner today. It's the same process with the pencil. So make sure to connect in the front and connect at the side. I'm sorry if you can hear some sound. That's my son just making noise in the living room. My apologies. I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Okay. Do we see that? Are we good? Do we all see that? Please, I need us to talk.
Yes.
Do we like it so far?
Yes. It looks good.
Okay. I'm gonna reach for a mascara real quick. The reason I'm going to use a mascara before putting on the false lash is to make sure that when I put the false lash, you can see the difference between my own lash and the mascara. So usually you can just look down and brush up. Don't be scared to use your mascara. It's fine, guys. you're not going to hurt yourself. As long as you look down, you're not going to hurt yourself. If you look straight, I can look straight and do mine, but I advise you look down so you don't poke yourself in the eyes. And you can wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's another method. You get a lot more product on the, if you just shake your head when you hold the wand to your lash, just shake your head. See? We can go out the door without applying the lash, really. But I'm going to show us how to attach the lash as well. I just put a little bit on the bottom. I already trimmed the edges of my lash. I'm using a different lash today than the one we used the last time. Again, this is a summer look. If you want to take it up a notch, I'll show you how to take it up a notch later. But right now, this is just the regular mink lash. I trimmed the band a little bit. I'm just going to put some glue on the lash and leave it a little bit on the tray to get tacky. I would have done that off the camera, but it would dry before the class starts. But don't worry, it only takes like 30 seconds to apply. Okay, I put on the first one. I'm going to attempt to put on the second one as well and leave them on the tray to get tacky. By the way, before I started my makeup, before I came on camera, I applied some lip balm on my lip, just so my lips are not cracked or like dry. So you want to do that before you start your makeup. It'd be really nice to do that before you start your makeup so that your lip stays moisturized while you do your makeup. So I applied the glue to the lash and I'm going to leave them on the tray to get tacky while I go ahead and do some finishing touches to my makeup. So we're going to be applying blush next. Pardon me, guys. Just give me a second. I'm trying to grab a blush brush. So I'm going to apply, first of all, before I go into the blush, I'm going to use a bronzer first. I love bronzers. I love bronzers because remember how I used the darker foundation from before? I think that they bring a lot of warmth to your face and they give some dimension. Your face, your makeup just don't look, I know it looks like a lot. It's not a lot of steps. The moment you get a hold of it, is not that tedious. So you don't have to use a bronzer if you don't want to. I just really think that it's going to be really nice to use a bronzer to frame my face a little bit. Remember, the same way you put the darker foundation on the outer part of your face, don't throw away your dark foundation because somebody chose a dark foundation for you. You can use it on the outer part of your face. And yeah, looks a whole lot better. Now I'm going to apply some blush. I have a very dark shade of blush right here. This is a very deep, warm red, well, not red, but a very deep orange type of blush. See the points of my cheek, I'm applying it. Don't be scared of your blush. I promise. One of my favorite parts of makeup is the blush. I know I look a lot right now, but I promise I'm going to blend it in. So just blend and you'll be surprised at how much a blush can make your makeup look very, very nice. Okay, you can put a little bit on your forehead just to further warm it up. Remember, always blend till your hands fall off, please. No lines of demarcation. If you have lines of demarcation, it will not be nice. Don't press your hand into your skin also, because then remember how the other things we did before, everything is going to just come together. So you want to use a very, very light touch and just like really just, yeah. So one thing I'm going to show you is the brush that I used for the powder earlier. Remember, I'm just going to take that and blend it all together as well so that we don't have anything standing out. Please point out if you can see anything standing out for me so I can blend it. But I think that one of the biggest parts of makeup is blending. You have to blend, you see? There's blending and there's polishing. This is blending I'm doing right now. I'm just dabbing. I'm not. So how you know is what parts of what you're doing is you feel the pressure on a certain part of your arm. If you don't feel the pressure on either this part of the arm, then you're probably doing it wrong, because you shouldn't just be going in. You should be, I don't know if you understand what I mean. You should feel some pressure on your arm by the time you're doing this. Okay, so the fun part. We're going to apply lashes now. And lashes can take your makeup from ordinary to extraordinary, literally. So I've applied the lash glue and I've waited for it to get a little tacky. I'm using a tweezer. This is just because of the class. I'm trying to be bougie. That's why I'm using a tweezer. I probably would just use my hand. I don't want you all to think that I'm not professional. That's why I'm using a tweezer. I usually use my hand. So when you're doing your own lash, I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say, look down, look up. I think that just looks straight. I have tried it all. And this is what works for me right now. Look straight. I'm looking straight because this is where my mirror is. Then push down. Keep your hands there. Let it stick. When it sticks like that, then you can take your tweezer and try to adjust it. Don't look up too fast, because if you look up too fast, you would move the lash. So the lash sometimes to see. Do you see the difference? Do you guys see the difference?
Clear.
Yes.
The lash makes a lot of difference. I can do my lash now in a moving car. It wasn't always like that. It takes a lot of practice. So just keep practicing. Not only when you're about to go out, then you start to struggle with it. I know it's not that deep, but if you really want to do your own lash and you want to get it right, you have to practice. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to just look straight, place it and press down. Now that I've placed it, I'm going to make it sit right. Okay, this one is not sitting that right, so I'm just going to adjust it. You can always adjust it before the glue dries off completely. And just check that it balances. This one is balanced, this one is not yet. So I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. Okay, just press down and yeah. Do we all have it to this point? Do we get it to this point? Are we good to this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good. Yeah.
Okay, so you can either apply mascara or not. I don't need mascara because I already applied my mascara at the point before I put my lash on. And I also tight lined. Remember I talked about tight lining? That would help to hide the band of your lash if you ever struggle with the band of your lash looking different sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and do my lip. What lip do you guys, how long do I wait? Maybe like 5 minutes, maybe sometimes more, but that just depends on how long I have to get in and out of the door. Sometimes I just blow on it literally like 10 seconds to get it tacky.
We have a quick question. We have a quick question on the lashes.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it reusable ones we should get?
Yes, this one I have on right now are mink lashes and they're reusable up to 27 times.
Up to 7 times.
27.
27. Oh, wow. 27.
Yeah, it just depends on how you clean and take care of them.
Okay. Thank you.
So you can pinch your lash up if you feel like it's getting in your eyes. For some people, I have a lot less dramatic lash here. Yeah, I trimmed the band before I start. This is a lot less dramatic, but that's what we used the last time. I'm trying to not do the exact same thing we did the last time so that, you want to switch things up sometimes. But this is a lot less dramatic. That's what we used the last time. This is not mink though. This one is. So I'm going to do the lip real quick. And I'm going to do something very soft again because if anyone wants me to do something bright, I have reds here, but I'm assuming that most of us like nude these days. And this is just a lipstick by Giorgio Armani. It's just a regular nude lip, a pinkish nude lip. And I'm just going to apply straight out of the tube. This is my lipstick again. Lightly. Can you see that? Yes, it is hygienic to reuse your own lashes. Just, I can't use it on clients. I cannot take a lash of Miss A and put it on Miss B. But for my own personal lash, when you get them in the night and you take out your lash, you can take out the glue when you take it out. And sometimes I clean mine with spirit when I take it out and just put it back in the case and keep it covered. You have to keep it covered. It can be exposed. That's how you get eye infection. But if you keep it covered and you take off the glue, you're fine. You should be able to reuse it as many times as possible. Just if you feel like it's dirty, take out the glue. Always take out the glue and clean with now alcohol, like 70%, and just leave it out to hair dry. I'm using a lighter shade of lip color just inside, just to so I'm not going to line because I used the darker shade of the pink first, just because I wanted recommend for, I'm going to have to check that later. I'm trying to finish first so that I don't know if you guys have somewhere you have to hurry to, but I don't want to keep anyone that needs to go waiting. That's why I'm trying to get to the end point so that everyone can get something. Now get to the questions all together. Please pardon me. So now that I have the lipstick on, I'm going to take a little bit of powder and just, like, if you see that some parts of my face just look a little glowy, that is, and I don't want those parts to look glowy. Under my eyes, maybe some parts of my forehead, I want them to look matte, not glowy. So I'm just placing this powder by Charlotte Tilbury under my eyes, just on my forehead, taking some of the shine away, my nose, the sides of my nose. If you do this right, all the steps that I said so far, your makeup should last at least 12 to 16 hours if you do this right. If you follow the steps correctly, if you do all the things that you should do. And now I'm going to go into something that I call polishing. I like to call polishing. It's how we shine our shoes. It's the same way. You're not pressing the brush again into the skin. You're just lightly, do you see the difference? You see how the glow comes through? Do we all see? Hello?
Yes,
we can see.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to put some, I'm sorry. I have all these things falling. I have a loose highlighter here that I just want to use because I know that people I'm not a huge fan of it, not anymore. But I'm just going to use a little bit because I know a lot of people like it now. So just to bring some glow back to the face. But
can we see the highlighter? We're not able to see it when you put it in, just to show folks.
This is by, are you talking about the highlighter itself or my face?
No, highlighter itself. Yeah.
Okay, this one is by, I think Dose of Color. It's been about it for a very long time. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, this one is by ColourPop. It's called Blooming by ColourPop Cosmetics. You can find that at Target. I think they used to be at Target. So it's just a little bit. These days, I prefer to use liquid highlighter or just illuminators. The last time I used some illuminators, I didn't use any today. So I guess that's why I'm using the powder highlighter. So again, don't forget, you can go back in with the blush brush that you used. Don't be scared to apply blush on your face, please, ladies. It's going to help a lot. I know it can look scary at first. Just don't apply too much at first. Build up. But blushes really make a difference. They bring dimension to your face. They make you look pretty. And don't be scared to bring it in a little bit. As long as you have not dipped your brush into like a red blush, and you have a whole chunk on it and you're going in, that will mess your makeup up. You can't even tell that I dipped my brush in the blush. So I'm just bringing a bit of the color back and we're good. Now I'm going to spray my face one more time. This is All Nighter by Urban Decay. So 2 things. When you spray your face, you take away some of the powderiness and you keep your makeup looking fresh for longer. It increases the shelf life of your makeup. So depends on what kind of setting spray you like to use. That's by Urban Decay. There's so many more. I have Melanie Mills, I have Morph, I have Charlotte Tilbury, depending on what the event is. So now that I'm done with my makeup, I'm going to go through the Gilly real quick. Do you want me to take questions on the makeup first before we go to the Gilly? What do you guys think?
Yes, I think we should go ahead and take questions on the makeup so that we're all done with that.
Oh, okay, great. What do you guys think about my makeup? Do you like it? Did you learn anything today?
It's
Love it.
beautiful.
It looks great.
Yes.
Really good.
Thank you.
And it's not a lot. It's just beautiful.
That's the
Yeah, it
goal.
looks
The goal is
natural.
to make it look natural. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Questions? I can go in the chat if you want me to. If you want to, I'd like to hear people talk though. It'd be really nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
It
you.
looks really good. It looks really natural. It brings out your face.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Maureen. Thank you, Miss Laurie. Thank you, everyone. Miss Dolly, Anif, Miss Tolu, Miss Angela. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm going to try to go through the questions here. The first question I got was, how do you decide what shade of foundation to use in the summer versus winter? Okay, so usually during summer, most people tend to be a little darker because the sun is more, and especially we Africans do not necessarily use sunscreen. Please, I advise you to use sunscreen to make a whole world of difference. Don't forget your sunscreen is very, very is an important part of your prep step. So our foundations tend to be darker during summer than winter. That's why I never have one shade of foundation year round. I don't think anyone should. I think if you can, please, even if it's drugstore, have a shade for winter, have another shade for summer. And don't have one foundation year round. See what works around the time and season that you're looking to do your makeup and just go with. I know it can be frustrating, but don't throw any foundation away either. The shelf life of an average foundation is 2 years. So don't throw away anyone, like somebody gave you a very dark shade. Like I said, you can use it to put dimensions back into your makeup. You don't have to trash it. I didn't use concealer on the outer part of my face, like a lot of people do on YouTube. I just use foundation when I'm doing my own makeup. I hope that answered your question. And you also said, can you use the concealer before using foundation? Yeah, well, I've seen people do that. I think that if you know how to work it, yes, I can work it, but it's not my favorite method. I can do it and it will come out nice, but I think it takes longer. So I don't tend to typically do that. Another thing, okay, yeah, I hope that answered your question. If not, you can unmute yourself and ask specifics. That's a question from Miss Ada Ejiogu, or Sister Ada Ejiogu. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, so Sister Tope said, or Sister Tope Oriola said, do you wet your beauty blender? Well, if I'm using my beauty blender to apply my foundation, yes, I do always. But if I'm not applying my foundation with my beauty blender, I don't. Like today, I didn't wet it. You can see that it's small. That's because I didn't plan to use it for my foundation. I only planned to use it for my concealer and, in fact, setting powder for under my eyes. But yeah, that's up to you, really. You can wet it for both ways. It works, especially if you have a very good beauty blender that is very soft, not the very strong ones. Those ones can move your makeup around. Thank you, Miss Maureen. She said, beautiful. Thank you. Sister Toporiola, again, you said, how do you decide which brush to use? Okay, real quick, let's go through brushes. You see this brush I have right here is a kabuki brush. You see that the head of it is like flat, a little flat, dome shaped. But this is great when you see brushes like this. Is by MAC. This is 170 by MAC. It's beautiful for foundation. I love this brush because it gets my foundation on in like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm done with my foundation. I don't have to spend a long time doing my foundation. And this is a blush brush. You can use it for your bronzer as well. You can see the shape is different. And this is not synthetic. This is goat hair or sheep hair or something. So you can see the shape is a little slanty as well, just so that it can adapt to the size of your face well. That's why it looks like that. And this is a blush brush or a bronzer brush. That's how you know the difference. I'm just trying to run through. I typically use brushes like this for under my eye. A brush is what you make it. You can use any brush for any area of your face, as long as it works for what you're using it for. That's the whole idea. You can use your hand. Sometimes I use my hand for my foundation and it works perfectly. I tell people all the time that your hands warm up your foundation, and when you use your hand, if you apply it properly, like you're applying your face cream and you're doing it right, your foundation will come out even looking nice. This is a regular brush that you can use for pretty much anything, but I use this for under eye area just because it helps me to reach areas that can be very hard to reach without stressing myself too much and wasting too much time on my makeup. But it doesn't have a name. It's not like it has a name in makeup industry where we call it foundation brush or this brush or that brush. I just use it for my under eye. This is a powder brush. You can use this for, I won't use this for foundation though, but if it works for you, fine. But this for me would be powder brush. You see that it's a little bigger. These days, I sometimes tend to use like smaller brushes for powder just so I can go in as much as I want to, but this typically works for powder a lot of times. What other brush? This is eyeshadow. Anything that works pretty much. This is for eyeshadow as well. But like I said, remember how I used my hand? Can you even tell that I used my hand for this eyeshadow? Do you see how well blended it is? You can use your hand, ring finger for your under eye, ring finger for your eyeshadow, just because the pressure that comes on your ring finger is not as harsh as the pressure from the other fingers. Okay, what other brush did I cover or not cover? Eyeliner. Well, eyeliner is self-explanatory. You see them, they look very small and yeah. Or you can just use a liquid liner that has a brush inside it. That might save you some time. I'm not a huge fan of liquid liner, but if it works for you, please go ahead. I hope that answered your question, Sister Tokoriola, because deciding which brush to use, a lot of times my clients say, oh, you have so much brushes, you have so much products. How can you tell one from the other? It's just basically using what works. For instance, a concealer can double as a foundation. A foundation can double as a concealer. A blush can double as an eyeshadow can double as a blush. Sometimes they just repack these things to confuse us. I can use a lipstick as a blush as well. Okay, when applying your makeup, remember less is more. Thank you, Sister Falakemi. Your brows are sisters and not twins. Try not to focus, spend time. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Falakemi. When applying makeup, ensure that you don't have lines of demarcation. Thank you. Very important. Blend, blend, blend. I tell my students, blend till your hands fall off. If you can see lines, you're not doing something right. You have to keep blending until you don't see where the foundation stops and you just should see the dimensions, but not the lines and such. Okay, it is important to blend your makeup in as well. Thank you. Sister Tolu Odumade said, do you put the mascara on both the top and bottom or just the bottom? Oh, yes, both. I usually use the reason I put on mascara first, like I said, is to make sure that you can tell where my lash ends and where the false lash starts. Because when you can see, sometimes you see people's makeup and you can literally see the lash standing separate and their own false lashes standing separate. I have a thing called a lash curler. Usually the lash curler, I have the regular lash curler, the ones that are the old semicircle. But these small ones, if I want to press in and make it look even more natural, I would use this and it works. But well, if you don't have this, you can just use your finger. You can just press in tight and you're good to go. Yes, you should put your mascara on your bottom lash as well to take off the powder so that you don't look dusty under your eyes. Are the lashes artificial? What kind of lashes are natural looking that you can recommend? This lash I have on right now is artificial, is called mink lashes. These are synthetic lashes, but they're more natural looking than this one I have on. This one I have on is my own brand, and but you can find mink lashes in stores. Just to make sure that it says mink on it. Then you can reuse at that point. How long do you, Sister Tolu? Oh no, I think Sister Angela Uluajiboye said, are the lashes artificial? Yes, I answered that. Sister Tolu Dumade says, how long do you wait for when you put the glue on the lashes still when you apply them. I'll say you can just apply the glue if you're in a rush. Sometimes when I'm going to church and I'm late, I can put the glue on the lash and just blow through. Like I count 1 to 10. I don't do that on my clients' lashes because that's not hygienic. But on my own lash, I would blow like 1 to 10 on each side and I should be good. You'll be tacky enough to apply until it's enough to. Do you trim the eyelashes before applying? I trim, but only on the ends of the lashes. I don't advise you to trim the lashes like this. Pick the length that works for you. Pick the style that works for you. When you go to the store to buy your lash, please don't buy lashes that you don't like the style and start to trim it. It doesn't look nice when you do that. So sometimes my clients say, oh, it's too long, but I like the style. Can you trim it a bit? I always advise them to change it instead of asking me to trim it this way. It's not nice. But I do trim the band though, so that the band is not too long and it sits better. Do you trim the, yeah, is it hygienic to reuse the false lash? Yes, for your own self, please reuse your false lashes if you can. Don't reuse somebody else's false lashes. You can get you can get conjunctivitis, and even worse, some other bad eye infection. What colors do you recommend for summer? Sister Lori says, what color do you recommend for summer? Okay, so for my neutral sisters who like to wear neutral tones, I would say coppery, gold. I would say bronze. I would say gold. And if you're feeling a little more, out there, you want to experiment a little bit, you can play with, I would say, browns and like maybe at very best green if you're dark toned, green, but please stick to the darker tones of greens. But if you know, makeup is, you can see I'm wearing a very colorful shirt. Life doesn't have to be boring. If you can play with colors and get it right, you can totally use colors. Just make sure that you're placing the same colors on the same family side by side. This means that if you're working with cool tones will be blues, purples, and pinks. If you're working with warm tones will be yellows, oranges, and greens. You can match those together. You don't want to match like a red and a blue side by side. They can knock each other off and it won't be nice. It's a natural, beautiful look. Thank you, Sister Maureen Quendi. Sister Ross Alfred says, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Sister Toledo Wright says, what do you suggest to control shine? Okay, I think that's a different question. I have a holy grail of primers here that I'm just about to, I want to try. I didn't use it today because I'm not going out and I didn't think there was a need for it. I'm going to wash my face right after this class. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to reach for it. I changed my mind last minute not to use it. This is Becca. It's discontinued, I think, but if you can still find it, it's by Becca Cosmetics and it will mattify your base, which means that it will control the shine. You can also try using some loose powder. If you're not scared to bake, which means you put some loose powder on your makeup and let it sit, by all means, please go ahead. But makeup is evolving and it's going from cake face and all matte to dewy, nice, glowy finish. So don't be scared of your oily skin. It can come in handy. Sister Shay says, beautiful and flawless. Thank you very much, Sister Shay. Sister Dolly Anif says, how do you know how much of the lash to trim? Beautiful question. So a lot of times before I do my client's makeup, sometimes I would, if it's a repeat client or a client that I've done so many times, I can wing it. But if it's a new client, before I apply the glue, I put it on their lash and try to measure it. If I measure it and I see what's left, that's when I'll trim. I don't just trim off the top of my head, so you don't make it too short or have excess. Okay, Sister Falakemi says, we encourage you to use sunscreen, please. Very, very, very important. Okay, Sister Angela, thank you. She said, sunscreen is a big issue for me. I've tried 3 brands. I always end up with hyperpigmentation. Wow. Okay, I've never had a miss or anyone complain to me about Supergoop. Supergoop is a brand that is sold in Sephora. It is very good. In fact, I don't have any affiliation with them. I'm not trying to, any brand here that I've used today, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just giving honest recommendations. Supergoop is really nice. I really like their sunscreen. They don't have a white cast and they don't give you hyperpigmentation. So try that. And if you still struggle with your sunscreen, please let me know. I'll make some more research and get back to you. Okay, Sister Ada, thank you. I answered your question. Okay, my facial moisturizer includes sunscreen as an oil. Perfect, Sister Maureen. That's beautiful. Just try to keep your SPF in the very least 30. 40 to 50 is better. During summer, 50 definitely. Don't do less than 50. I do 50 during summer because otherwise it's not gonna. Sister Toporiola, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Sister Koforala, how do you clean your brushes? Beautiful question. So I have a brush cleaner, but then after washing my brushes with a brush cleaner, which is like a soap, and we have a mat, and I place the mat in a sink, disinfected sink, of course, and just run the water on. I don't immerse the whole brush. You shouldn't. You're gonna mess your brush up. These brushes, especially this particular brand, is very expensive. I don't want it coming apart. So you just clean the bristles of the brush on the brush mat and you hang out to dry or lay flat on. I usually have like paper towels laid out on the table and place on top. When it's dry, I get alcohol about 7 or 80% to also disinfect it and lay out to finally dry out. But that's just a professional brush. My personal brushes, I don't do a lot of makeup. I hardly ever wear makeup. So I wash my brushes maybe after 1 or 2 uses, but I just wash regularly, like with regular soap and just hang out. But that's just my personal, but my professional brush, I'm very particular about disinfecting after use. How often do you clean your brushes? My own personal brushes for clients, I clean after every use. I must have like 500 brushes. I'm not even kidding you. Right on this table, I can show you about 70 or 80 brushes on this table. So I have a lot of brushes. That's from working on TV, but I have a lot of brushes. I don't reuse any brush for anyone because it's not hygienic. Or for my personal brush, I don't do makeup often. So maybe after a second use. I don't want to lie and say I wash my brushes after every use. My beauty blender, however, yes. After every use, I wash. But my brushes, maybe after the second use, I don't wash after every use. But I keep them in a sealed bag, so I don't have bacteria in them or anything. Sister Toporella, yes, you answered my question. Thank you, ma'am. Sister Maureen Quendi, what do you use to take off your eyelashes? Beautiful. Your eyelashes, your makeup, and everything in between, your best bet is coconut oil. Every time that I tell people, they say, really, coconut oil? Every night when I'm done with this, in fact, if you want me to, I can take it off because I'm not going anywhere. I just wet a pad with regular Schmegel coconut oil. You can use organic, but I just use the liquefied one I got off Amazon. I put it on the cleaning pad and just I wipe it off. And it's also called double cleaning in aesthetics and skincare, where you use the oil to clean your face first before you use your face wash. So some people will react to coconut oil. So for those people, I'd say use a jojoba oil or argan oil, just almond oil or something that works, that your skin tolerates better. But please use oil and you have it off. Your eyelashes, I mean, I don't think there's anything special. I just rip it. My own lashes, I just rip off and clean my eye makeup with coconut oil. I don't think you need to take it off with anything special. This is the glue I used to. This is by Kiss Cosmetics. I hope. Yes, this is by Kiss Cosmetics and it's really, really good. It sticks on right and is easy to take out as well. You will have a perfect application every time. Okay, Jesus House Ministry says, which is better, applying concealer under the eyes to clean off excess makeup from under the eyes, or apply before working on it? Okay, so 2 things. If you plan to work with, I'm guessing what you're saying is, should you do your under eye before doing your eye makeup? Pretty much. So it depends. If I'm going to do a very dark smoky eye, where I'm going to be working with blacks and pigments and glitters and things that can fall out a lot, honestly, I'm going to start with the eye makeup first and then do the face after. But I find that I'm not really liking that process, professionally speaking now. So I tend to go more with still doing the same thing and placing some powder under the eye to catch the fallout. I place like, you remember how we talked about loose powder the other time? Let me place it and dust it up for you so you can actually see. I place loose powder under my eyes just like this. Do you see? Not a lot like we see on YouTube and on Instagram and everywhere. Just a little bit like that, so that if I have fallouts from my makeup, I'm just going to keep this here for a while and then I'm going to dust it up later so that you can see how to take it off. So I just do that and then I just dust it off. When you're dusting off, dust out so that you don't dust it all over your face. Just dust out and then, but if you're working with very, very black eyeshadow, you need to be very careful so that you don't mess your face up. But I'll visit that later.
Sis, sorry to interrupt you. Because of time and because a lot of people came here for the gele.
Okay.
We actually get to that. So I don't know. There's still more questions coming in. Folks can feel free to still ask. But I think we should go ahead and get started. And
do the gele and then get back to
with the gele, and then we can finish up the questions.
Later. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to answer what is the make of your eye gel liner. This is by Inglot Cosmetics and it's shade 77. It's the blackest of the blackest blackety black eye gel liner I have ever seen in my life. Nothing comes close. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to grab my glue. Okay, I'm going to move the chair back a little bit just so I'm going to take this down just for now. Yes. Can we all see? Are we all good?
Yes, we're good. Thank you.
Is this distracting? Should I take it off? Let me take it off so that it's not distracting anybody. Okay. So I have a small toothbrush here. Normally I would apply, what do we call edge control, but there's nothing to control on my edges because I have a weave sewn in. And this is, I thought about using my daughter as a model, but I changed my mind because if I'm teaching you how to do it on your head, then I should do it on my head so that you can see how it actually plays out when you're doing it on yourself, because it's a different ball game when you're doing it on someone. Every time that I've tried to teach somebody to do on themselves and I use a model, when they try it, it don't work out. So I better use it myself. And pardon me if I struggle a little bit. I haven't done gilly on myself in like 8 years. So this is a full length of the gilly that I'm using today. And when I close it, it literally goes like, it looks like a yard. I don't know if you've been to those Lagos markets where they measure a yard with their hand. So it's like literally a yard. I take the gilly into two, but not exactly at 50-50, but at 55-45, which is like, this is the middle. So I'm just going to take it here. Can you see? Can everybody see? Are we good so far?
Yes, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm making this very little fold. I don't know if you can see, very, very little fold. You see how little it is? About that much. Do you see? You see the small fold? Are we good? Can I go on?
Yes. Yeah, we can see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I typically like to pleat my gilly down before I place it on my head. So when I make the small fold, I'm not sure how to do this on camera, but I'll try. I make the fold down. See how I've made that first fold? And I try to replicate. I'm going to do it, then I'm going to show you. Okay, do you see now? So how I did the first fold, I just did 4 folds. Are we good? Do you want me to stand up and try to do the fold?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get up now. Can we see?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we good? Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay. So fold 1 is the first one that I did. That's a fold 1. Then I'm doing fold 2. Just, do you see the way I'm holding my thumb? Can everybody see? I'm worried some people can't. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it. We're following. Fold 1,
Okay,
fold
okay,
2.
great, great.
Yeah.
Fold 2, fold 3. I usually do this on my lap, so pardon me if I'm struggling a little bit. Fold 4. Yeah, this is 4. Do you see it? I think one is covering the other. I need to sit down and smoothing it out on my lap. But you get the idea, right? Do we get the idea, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just smoothing the fold on my lap.
I have a toothbrush.
You have a question?
No.
Did somebody say they have a question? Oh, okay. So, see, that's how it's supposed to look. All 4 pleated out. Oh, see, that's what happens when you're used to doing it on other people's head. And then you turn it. Make sure that all 4 folds align on your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Are we counting? Please count the pleats with me if you can. Take off your earrings if you can. I usually tell my clients to take out your earrings first and put, because your gilly has to cover your ears completely at first. Are you following, please? Am I missing anybody? Am I losing anybody? Is everybody here?
Yeah, we're here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to get my 4th pleat back in because it keeps coming back out. This will make your work easier as you go on. Okay, get the first band lying flat and nice. The second one nice, and hopefully we can get the 4th one to cooperate. Okay, I'm going to use the mirror. Sorry, guys. I have to use the mirror so I can get it right. Okay, yeah, we're good now. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm going to do at the back. Can we see this? Are we good to this point?
Yep, so far so good.
Okay, so before I press too hard, I'm going to move the gilly back just in the middle. Yeah, don't forget, remember to let it cover your ears completely. For those of us who like to bring our ears out, I think that that's not nice at all. Please don't bring your ears out of your gilly. It's not a pretty sight. The beauty of the gilly is supposed to give you a facelift. So if you don't keep your ears in, you will not get the effect. So before I press down too tight, I'm going to move just in the middle back a little bit so I don't struggle later. Then I'm going to press down again to have the band sitting right. And then let's see. I'm exchanging the back. Can you all see? Can you see?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. You said I'm passing both hands out.
It's nice to be appreciated.
Can we see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Do you see what I just did?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, perfect. Then I'm going to turn back to you. That's all I have to do at the back for now. The rest of the work is in the front. Okay. So I'm going to check for what hand I'm going to tuck in. I'm going to pleat out first. I'm going to take the longer hand. I'm going to do the longer hand last. I'm going to do the shorter hand first. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do the longer hand last. I'll do the
Why?
shorter hand first. The reason is because if you do the longer hand first, the shorter hand may not go round because you already have a layer. So if you want to keep the gilly tieable at the back, I'm talking one between my legs. It's a good thing I'm not using a model, because if I was to use a model, I would not be struggling this much. I probably would be almost done with the gilly, but this is what is going to happen to you when you're doing your own gilly. So I'm giving you actual solutions to anything you might run into when you're doing your gilly. Once you cross it at the back, you take the shorter end, and do you see what I'm doing? Remember how we did the first fold? It's not difficult at all. You can go along with me. It'll be nice to see some people going along with me. The first fold, I'm putting over this. Make sure it stays on your ears as well. And on this one, we're not doing as many folds as well. We're just going to be doing like about 4 folds as well. just so that's the first one. Sometimes the fold helps you. I'm going to do another fold. Don't rush it. If you have to wake up early to get it right, please do. I've done a second fold. I'm doing a third one. But making sure that if the pleats don't cover themselves. Is anybody going along with me? I'd just like to assess and see how they're coming along. Do you see the first three ones that I did on the second step? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and do a fourth one. You don't want to do too many pleats at this point because you don't want to. Do you see that? Can everybody see me? Do you see?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So now that I have 4 pleats, we can count again. 1, 2, I lost 1, 3. Do not lose your pleats. 4. You see how I've tucked that behind my back? I'm going to turn around so you can see how I'm going to exchange this. I'm putting this down like this. Ooh. And I'm going to face you just so you can see what I'm doing in the front again. Now, when you're doing this side, it's important to put this out, pull this out of the way. I have more than 1 earring, so the other earrings are pressing into my skin. Please don't do that to yourself. If you can, please take away all your earrings so that the earrings don't press into your skin because you need your gilly to be firm. So you have to also be sure of what, so you don't tie the wrong side of the gilly. Remember, we're using this is called the jowl gilly. We're using the jowl gilly today. You want to make sure that the jowl side is out and you're not using the wrong side at the last part. So remember how I said, these are challenges you can face when you're doing your own gilly. I'm going to use a pin because I don't have nobody here to help me hold it. I usually don't need a pin when I'm doing my client's makeup. I try to use as little pin as possible. Oh, I just spoke to myself. Okay. So I pinned that in place. Can we all see? So that I can continue pleating my gilly. I push everything out the way to the top. And I'm making another fold. 1, 2, 3. Move it back so that they can lay on top of each other. Remember, at this point, we're trying to achieve height. 4, for those of us that like height. For those of us that do not like height, just push it back. 4. Count. 5. You see how I secured the other side with pin? You don't need somebody to hold it for you. 5. 6. 7. You can go as much as you want. The reason I'm counting is just so I don't lose any pleats. Before I continue, I'm going to try to get the pleats to the end of the line. You don't have to get your pleats to the end of the line at first, but make sure you press down the first layer because that's what's going to secure that layer. 2, 3, 4. You want to pass it on. 5. 6. You don't want to lose your layers. 7. Please don't rush it. If you rush it, you will not like it in the end. I guess not everybody likes the layers, but if you're really into layers, take your time. I personally probably wouldn't do this much layer myself, but I'm going to increase the height as I go along. If it looks flat right now, don't worry. You can get back to it later if you want some more height. I'll show you how to work the trick around there. So I'm just going to make sure that the layers are all round, and it goes round now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to unpin the one that I did so I can tie. Oh, it's even unpinned itself. If you press down enough, you probably don't even need it. So I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing at the back. So I'm holding this piece that I've been pleating. You know, I can't see the back of my head, so I'm just going to roughly pleat. This is not the same when I'm doing my client's game, because I can see the back of their head, but when it's mine, I can't. So I'm taking what's left over. I can correct the pleats when I'm done tying. I'm sorry. And try to take it to this other side, and I'll tell you why later. And leave some hands out. We will make it round later, but let's just do it like this. Did you see the hand that we popped out before? Are we all there? Hello? Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we are here.
At this point, I'm going to tie. Are we on board to this point? If you see that I'm only taking this little one, I'm not taking the whole thing. As firm as you can go, but not too tight, so you don't get a migraine. And just second tie, and we're good. That's 80% of your work done. The remaining percentage of your work is finishing your pleats and adjusting the height to how you like it. So we already did all the pleats before. I'm just going to make the pleats nice and clean. I'm not creating any new pleats. I'm just adjusting my height. If you like the bridal height, you have a lot left here to do your height. And you can just, I'm going to use the mirror just because this camera can be a little confusing. Okay, you can push up. The trick is to push up if you want some more heights. Not everybody likes heights. For instance, if you want the turban style, you can just push all the way to the back and just, there you go. You have the turban style. Otherwise, you want some height and some glam, just push it up. I'm going to pleat all of this side as well. It's a lot more work when you're doing on yourself than when you're doing on the clients. If I was doing a client's makeup, I would have done like 3 gilly or 4 in the time I'm doing mine. So this one left out here, first of all, you need to tie it all up. It's not supposed to be that way. You make it neat at the back, ladies. Make it neat at the back. Make it nice and clean and neat. Close it all up nicely. And we're going to secure this with a pin. I'm just securing that bit that I closed up at the back with a pin. So you can pull this place out a little bit so that it balances on both sides. Like I said, I haven't tied gilly in about 8 or 10 years. I don't remember the last time I tied gilly. This is a struggle as well, but because I do it way easier on and more effortlessly on clients than I would do on myself. But I'm just trying to pleat now too.
It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
You make it look so easy. Like, how many minutes did
It
you
is
get?
it can be very hectic sometimes, but to some extent it's not.
Less than 10 minutes. Fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. The gilly doesn't even take that long at all. Sometimes even 5 minutes if you're doing it on someone else. It takes longer when you're doing it on yourself. You can use a pin to make it, you see how this place is stocked out and this place is round? You can use a pin. I'm going to use this mirror just so I can do that correctly. Okay, so now this side is round as well as the other side is. Okay, I hope this works. When you're doing gilly on yourself is a lot more added than, but I advise ladies, push your gilly back just in the middle, make sure it still covers your ears. It will give you some more facelift and make it look even nicer. And yeah, we're good. You can put on your earrings now. Just take out your earlobe, the part that the
Very
earrings
nice.
go into alone.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Maureen. That's fine. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Okay.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I will go back to taking the questions. If you have questions on the gilly, you can please ask me. I'll try my best to answer it, but my strong suit is more makeup than gilly, but on myself, that is. Okay. On gilly, because I know that some people have to go, does anybody have any question? Don't forget for the 55%, don't go 50-50, go for the 55. When you're tying in the front, when you're about to cross it in the front, make sure that, thank you, Miss Shay, thank you, Sister Shay. Make sure that you take the longer end and tuck between your ties. You remember how I took the longer end and tucked between my ties? My ties, yes, and then I used the shorter hand first. I created the second layer with the shorter hand, and then I put the longer end over it. It's way easier that way. You don't need help. If you can't find anybody, I have like this pins that you can get from Walmart. You can just use it to tuck one hand in before you put the other one over it. It comes out nice, especially the what do we call it? The classic style, which is like the pleated gilly now is very, very straight to the point. So let's quickly see if we can take some more questions. How do you safely remove the eyelashes? Just repeat out, put some coconut oil if you're trying to be very, very careful with your own lashes and you don't want it to come off. Please, if you have any question about the gilly, you can skip the line and just ask me if you have to go, so I can answer questions on gilly first, and then I can continue with the makeup questions, related questions. Please, I will take gilly questions. If you have anything at all, any confusions, how do you tie? How do I know which one goes first? When I'm doing it on my clients, I think about which one should go first. I take a lot of time thinking about which side should I go first. When I'm doing it on myself, I literally just pull it together like this. But because I already have 45-55, when I pull it like that, I pull everything to the front, tuck the longer hand between my leg, it always works. So if you tuck the longer end between your legs and the shorter length goes first, you will get it right. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sister Kombi. Thank you. Oh, I see some of my people here. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I don't know if that makes sense with tucking the longer hand between your thighs and the short one goes first, the longest one go on top of it. You get it right all the time. It works. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm going to continue taking the makeup question to save us some time. Okay, Sister Falakemi helped us list the primer, and yeah. Sister Kombi said I can attest to that. I'm not sure what she's referring to, but she's my person, and I'm sure that's why she's. Sister Falakemi said, we recommend that you keep your brushes in a sealed bag or container. Yes, if you don't want to wash after every use, please keep in a sealed. Oh yes, Sister Ada, by all means, I've heard so much about Obagi. Obagi is a very good brand. I have not tried their SPF before, but yes, that's a very good suggestion. Somebody who has used Obagi says it's very good. ladies, we can try that. I think I'm going to try that myself. Sister Falakemi says coconut oil is great for clean eye makeup. Remember, if you react to coconut oil, use jojoba oil or argan oil or any other oil. Sister Funky, good evening, ma'am. She's reminding us that we have the tutorial and we need to go on. Okay. Pastor almost says, how do you apply glitter eyeshadow? Great. I don't have glitter primer here, but I usually use a glitter primer. And I was telling you all the other time that I'm going to show you a trick. So let me show you a trick right now. I usually will use a glitter primer or a glitter glue to apply glitter on my eyes, but this is a pressed, it's not glitter, but it's a pressed pigment. So it's like a glitter. So the ones that are pressed like this, you can go into it like that and try to apply only on the eye points of your eyes, not inside, not outside. Eye points will be here, where the balls of my eyes roll. Press so you don't have fallouts. Press so you don't have fallouts. Press. Ooh, can anybody see that?
Yes,
Looks good.
it looks really nice.
Nice. It takes the eye makeup from to wow. So you see, this is what I just did. I pressed round and I just Ma? What did you say? Oh, I thought that person was talking to me. Okay, same thing on the eye point. That will be where your pupil is somewhat. Just press down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle before you move your hand. But that's just because this is a good brand. This is by MAC Cosmetics. That's why it's not all over my face. Some brands will be all over your face and your makeup is just over. But at that point, I recommend this by MAC. It's called Make You Wish. I used it the last time as well. I really like it. You can take a soft, clean brush and just brush out the ends so you don't have any ash lines like we talked about. So it just improves my eye makeup. I can walk into an Owambe like this. I just need to wear a skirt and a blouse and I'm good to go. Sister Ada, thank you so much for the makeup tutorial. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. She says, wow, gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Maureen. Thank you, Sister Lola. It's just a lot of well done. Thank you. I'm going to try to skip all the way to questions. Beautiful. You have saved me a whole lot of $20. Okay, I don't feel good about that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Sister Shei says, is this recorded? I'm not sure. I think Sister Falakim and Sister Lori would know if it's recorded.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sister Falakemi says, thank you. I learned something new too. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Kumbi. Thank you. Oh, it's a lot of thank yous. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you so, so much. I think I went through all the questions. Pastor Omar Gandhi. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Sister Tola, Sister Ross Alfred, Sister Kumbi, Sister Ayo Shobayo. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. That's all the questions. I don't see. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. I don't see any more questions, but if anyone adds any more questions, please go ahead and ask me. One more thing I wanted to say, if at any point during the day, you see some shine and just some glow that you're not feeling very cool with, I do this every Sunday when I go to church. I get a paper towel like this and put it in my pocket. I fold it in 4 places. You can split it in 2 like this. Ideally, what you should be using for this should be a mattifying sheet, or I don't remember what we call it, but I split this in 2 and just fold this into my pocket. Now, when you see the shine that you don't very much like, you just dab. Don't press too much. Do you see that? It instantly takes away and you don't see anything. Do you believe that, guys? There's not one powder on that paper towel, not one. So you just dab lightly, 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 and you're good. Yes, ma'am. Somebody has a question. When you cross the gilly at the back, which one was at the top? So when I crossed the gilly at the back, I told you I didn't have to think too much about it. When I crossed it at the back, when I got to the front, I pulled everything. Don't leave anything at the back when you're doing your own gilly. Just pull everything to the front and make sure to tuck away the longer end between your thighs. It is the length of the gilly that you pay attention to from the beginning. That'll determine what you do at the back. So when you tuck the longer end between your tie, and that secures it and you make sure it's tight, the shorter end goes first. Because I can't see the back of my head, so I'm typically not calculating anything. I'm just putting the long end between my tie, the short one over first. My leg secures it tight, and I go first with the short one. Then when I'm done with the short one at the back, which in this case ended on this side, I pinned it down with a pin so that I don't have to worry too much about it moving around. And then I went with the long one. By the time I got to the back with this one, I took out the pin and just tied at the back. I hope that works. Please let me know how it goes. If you want to try it now, I can walk you through it. If you want to turn your back and show me what you have, I can tell you if we got it or not. Sister Tokpai says, what setting spray would you suggest to stay matte, and how do you avoid under high creasing? Beautiful question. Setting sprays, MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, MAC Mineralized setting spray is not mineralized. MAC setting spray is good. Urban Decay is very good for mattifying. I see some spray that says mattifying. I'm not a fan of them because they leave a white cast. Because to get them to be mattifying, a lot of times they have to put in like a very liquid form of, what do we call it now? Milk of magnesia inside it. A client showed me just today that she sprayed a all-nighter mattifying spray on her hand. She sprayed an all-nighter. You see how I sprayed it? Do you see how it looks? It looks like water. When she sprayed it, it looked like calamine lotion when she sprayed it. So I know from all those formulas that they put something, maybe talc, maybe whatever it is they put in those mattifying sprays. I don't like the output of it. It makes the face look cakey in the long run. But if you want your makeup to stay matte, don't worry. Make sure you moisturize. Contrary to popular opinion, moisturizing will not make you oily. Moisturize very well. Apply your primer and then apply your foundation. If you're really worried that you will still try baking, not a great fan of it anymore, but try it. It might work for you. You might like it. But I find that it really does keep the makeup matte. And yeah, there's Melanie Mills. Let me show you another spray. This is Melanie Mills. This is more aerosol. While this one sprays liquid, this one sprays gas. Tara, I'm in class. While that one sprays liquid, this one sprays aerosol like gas. You don't see anything. And it keeps your makeup on for a very long time as well. So try that. Urban Decay is very great for, Urban Decay is very great. Yeah, it's really good. How do you prevent eye creasing? Yeah, my bad. I always use eye cream. I don't skip that step. If you're anywhere above 35, you need to get an eye cream. If you don't use, this is by Charlotte Tilbury. There's another one that I use that is by Bobbi Brown. Please use under eye cream. I didn't use it on camera, but I did. That's why I have it on the table. I used it. It's part of your skin prep. I don't just want to make it very tedious and you have too many steps, but eye cream will help with under eye creasing and upper eyelids as well. That's why I used this. This is Painterly by MAC. On your eyelid, you don't want your eyeshadow to crease. Please invest in a good eyeshadow primer. This is by MAC and it's called Painterly. Sister Koforela Lagbaji says, I have an oily skin and someone suggests me, so well, you can use it, but I don't like it. My clients tell me all the time, oh, I don't believe it. My makeup will still get oily. I trust in milk of magnesia. You are harming your skin. So if you have a makeup artist that uses it for you, your makeup will be good. It will be matte, but they don't care about your skin very much because they care about their own work being matte, but they don't care about the health of your skin. However, I stumbled during a research recently where a lady says calamine lotion works better in place of, calamine lotion works better in place of milk of magnesia. So yeah, try it and let me see how it goes. I think that's all I can take for now. It's 9 o'clock and I think we have to go. Thank you very much for having me, everyone. It's called Melanie Mills Hollywood. Melanie Mills, the aerosol spray. Thank you, everyone, for having me. That's all I can take for now. I'm told that we have to go. It's 9 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Miss Remy. That was fantastic. I learned so much. I'm glad it's recorded. We need to share this with everyone. We learned so much. I mean, you are very real. One of the things about you is not just giving us very high level things that we can't reach. You're very practical. You're very real. And you tell us the truth. Basically, you're believable. We definitely trust your expert opinion. So very well done, sis. We appreciate all the good tips you've given us tonight. I'm sure we're going to have you over and over again because there's just so much to learn here. So, and you look amazing.
Thank you, everyone. I have to go wash my face now.
The gele, when I was doing the gele, sometimes my hand is just locked in a funny way that I don't even know what I'm doing. The way you did it was so effortless. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to do one and I'm going to send you a picture.
Yes, pictures. Everyone try the gele makeup pictures. Send to Miss Falake. I'd like to see what you create to be nice.
I'll make you proud and send
Miss
you my first attempt. Oh, sorry, Pastor Omo. Good evening, ma. You look beautiful.
Hi, God bless you. Thank you so much, Dolores. God bless you. Thank you very much, Ms. Remy. This has been a wonderful session. We enjoyed every bit of it. And if you were given any pressure, please don't mind at all. We're good. We had fun. We enjoyed ourselves. Quick question, one or two. For the gele, if we wanted to take the gele back a bit, you know how sometimes you pull the gele back and then you also use some edge control in front to, how do we achieve that quickly?
Okay, so pushing the gele back is really easy. I tell my clients, just as long as your gele don't come off your ears, you're fine all day. Please try to not have your ears out. Otherwise, it's going to go downhill from there. All your hard work gone. So just in the middle right here, I wish I could pull it forward and show you. When you're doing it on yourself, it's even easier. You see, I pulled it forward. I'm going to push it back. When I'm doing it on clients, it's much harder. But on myself, you just slide back and it's off your head. If you feel like it's too much to the back, and you can push this one at the back forward so that balances it up. But just slide, it works. It would even help your edge control because the edge control you already applied will further lay better, even better. And your edges will look even nicer. But just make sure that you don't lose your steps and just slide. But don't avoid sliding on the side. Don't slide here, don't slide here. Slide right in I don't know what this place is called, right in the middle here. Just push back. As long as you don't push the gele too tight anyway before at the back, you shouldn't have a problem pushing it back, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms.
The second question?
That was, we're talking about how I see these days, how you can bring curls.
Oh, yeah.
Come out in front and then have the gele at the back.
Yeah.
Further back.
Those ones, the baby hairs you're talking about now, if you already made the baby hairs, what you can do is secure the baby hair first with maybe those glue hair thingy and tie it down. So that's completely dry and it's not going to move anywhere before you start your makeup, or just keep the tying thing on. When you finish your makeup, you can take off the elastic band you used to secure the edge, and then the gele will not move your edge at that point, I'm sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Great
so much for having me. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Again, thanks a lot. Thank you, Pastor Omo, for hosting us all. Thank you. God bless you, ma. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Thank you for attending this session. It was really good. Miss Remy, like I told you, we're going to have you back. It's a matter of time. So just get ready for the next invitation. Again, thank you all so much, ladies, and everyone can have a nice evening and a beautiful weekend ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, HomeBuilders Bloom team. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the job. You are the greatest MVPs. We love and we appreciate you.
Thank you, ma. Good night, ma.
God bless.
Bye.